I really like that king cake, and particularly the flavour of the dough. I'm going to use that dough and make a cinnamon and cream cheese bake. First, we need to make the dough, and we use strong flour. And to that, add the sugar, yeast and salt. Then start to pour in warm water and mix until a smooth dough is formed. It's really important not to really follow a recipe at this point. It's to look with your eye, because if it needs more water, give it more water. Because different flours absorb different amounts of liquid. The dough is ready when it starts sticking to the edge of the bowl. You can feel it's sticking to my fingers. Leave it to rise for 20 minutes and it will triple in size thanks to the yeast. Knock the air out of the dough and roll it out on a floured surface. And now brace yourself for the butter. In here, you need 500 grams or half a kilo of butter. Then we fold it over, and this is called a book turn, where you fold it over like pages in a book, fold it over again, plenty of flour, and then this is where you can get your anger out on it. Roll out the dough again. It gets easier as the butter softens, and repeat the folding and rolling process 3 times. This creates layers of butter within the dough. Ideally, what you want for this is to keep it nice and cold, so if it gets too warm in between each turn, pop it in the fridge and wait 10 minutes. But it is tiring if you do this by hand. But it's worth it in the end, because you lose weight now and then put it all back on again when you eat it all. Fold the dough one more time before wrapping and chilling in the fridge. So this one's nice and cold. Now you can actually see the layers of butter and pastry. And what's going to happen is when those layers heat up, the butter melts, it creates steam, and it forces the layers of dough apart. And that's where you get those little air pockets, particularly Danish pastries and croissants. That's where it comes from. Roll out the dough into a big square, about ½ centimetre thick. Then, just like David, I'm going to use cream cheese in my filling, but I'm keeping it simple by just whipping up some cream cheese with the seeds from 1 vanilla pod. Spread it evenly over the dough. Sprinkle this now with a bit of cinnamon over the top. So at this point it's very similar to the king cake, and then we can roll it up. And slice the rolled up dough into 1½ inch pieces. Arrange them into a well-greased cake tin, making sure they're not too tightly packed. Let them rise again and give them a good egg wash. But the key to this entire dish at the moment is they're not too sweet. Fattening, yeah, but not too sweet. And this is the important thing. Whenever you're baking anything like this, and bread at home, your oven as high as it will possibly go, because these need to cook very quickly for a short amount of time. So about 20 minutes, really, really hot oven. And as it bakes, the pieces will rise even more and stick together to form one big cake. Now, to finish this cake, I'm going to top it New Orleans style with some bourbon glaze. And that starts with sugar, a splash of water and a good glug of maple syrup. But I'm not done yet. While all that dissolves, I'm going to knock up another quick topping with icing sugar and water. Once the sugar in the pan has dissolved, add a good splash of bourbon and burn off the alcohol and reduce until it's nice and sticky. Then it's ready to be brushed all over the cake to give it a lovely shiny finish. For the final flourish, use a piping bag to drizzle over the icing. And there you have it, my cream cheese and cinnamon bake, with not a baby inside, but plenty of bourbon. Sure, it's a little bit more hard work than the average cake, but trust me, it's worth it in the end, because this tastes fantastic.